Hello and welcome to the Connections with Kyland podcast. I'm Kyland, and today I'm really excited. I'm joined by my good friend Brandon Schram, better known as B.Motiv8ed, entrepreneur and celebrity trainer. You may have seen him in his viral videos or training the likes of Jennifer Lopez, the rapper of the game, Normani. And more than just fitness, he also focuses on mindset training, which is obviously very important to the whole transformation of your life. So I'm very excited to have Brandon Schram here, who also has his own supplements line, Thrive Supplements, and I'm very excited to get into the history, get into transformations. Thank you for joining the Connections with Kyland podcast.
Oh, that was quite the intro, sir. I really appreciate it. That's the kind of intro I need. That shit got me hyped, like WWE walkout intro. That's what I need.
It's the hype up, you know? It's like the hype up, except it's well deserved, man. I mean, I feel like I was trying to think of how we're connected, first off, because I like to think about the reason I started this podcast was all about, hey, there's so many connections in our life, like with people, with, different passions. Sometimes it's music, sometimes it's like a song, or like we have these little moments where we find ourselves connected to something. And when you look back, you see like the web, the interconnectivity of everything. And I was trying to think, I was like, I feel like I may have actually followed your stuff before Big Brother, before TV stuff. I'm pretty sure I started following it. Like, I wish I because we're connected now, it doesn't say the little thing, but normally it says like, followed since this, and I couldn't find that. But I feel like I've been following your stuff for a while. And I think also I remember you mentioned that you have like the most viral video on House of Highlights or something. What was the fitness video?
That was People Are Awesome.
People Are Awesome.
Yeah. And it was a compilation of a lot of videos. So like not that it's my credit by any means, but I'm the first video in a compilation of videos that happens to be like the highest viewed video in House of Highlights ever. It's like over 1 billion views, which is crazy.
And People Are Awesome or House of Highlights?
People Are Awesome.
Okay.
Yeah, but it was a House of Highlights video.
Okay.
So House of Highlights,
it.
yeah, it was House of Highlights that did the first one. It was like me doing push-ups on the tables.
Yeah.
And because it went crazy on House of Highlights, People Are Awesome ended up posting it, and then they put it in the compilation video of, I forget exactly what year it was, but it's a compilation for whatever that year was, the best ones.
Yeah.
And it happens to be the first one, and it's the most viewed video they've ever had. So it's like, yeah, it was cool.
I mean, you're talking about a compilation like, oh yeah, it's not me, but we know in the content game, it's the hook. It's the first.
It is.
It used to be the first 3 seconds. I guess now they're saying it's like TikTok and social media is ruining attention spans, and now it's like 0.3 seconds or something.
Yeah.
So it feels like without that hook of your video being the first one, it may not be the most.
Who knows?
That's what we can go with. I feel like it's like, hey, this is what I do is I make things.
Matter of fact, that's I need to change my perspective on that. That video popped because of me, baby.
Exactly. So just to kind of get into the conversation, I try and start just asking like, what's the most significant, important connections in your life? Like whether you're looking forward or looking back. Like for you, what stands out?
One, absolutely my family. Like my family has been so tight knit my whole life, and I've been lucky and grateful to have I had a mom growing up, I had a dad growing up, and granted, even though they weren't together, they were still very present. My dad was driving me on my soccer games, my practices, everything. Like the sacrifices that my parents made when I was young, that I had zero appreciation for when I was young, which is crazy. That now I look back thinking like I wouldn't even do that for my own child. Like I don't have a kid for the record, but like. I honestly don't. I don't have a kid that I know of.
No, I'm sure you would do it.
No, I'm kidding.
For the kid.
I'm kidding. But yeah, it's just like I look back at like sacrifices that were made for us, not just for me, but my sisters as well. And it's like, bro, it is crazy. And it's like financially where we were at, like just like emotionally too, thinking about like we as children, we don't ever think about like the emotional state of our parents until we grow up and we go through the things that they were going through, and now we're like, oh my god, like how were they doing that and doing this with 3 kids and doing that and like hanging and like keeping it together. And the thing is like mental health wasn't a thing that was spoken about back then.
Yeah.
And like that generation, like my dad, it's like, bro, you just like, you stay tough, you get it done, you do what it is, like Obviously my mom was like a little more nurturing, as a mom like most commonly would be, but I mean, that one for sure, bro. It's like the foundation of that connection of like me and my family is like massive. And then it obviously my sisters, and like between them and between me, like growing up, you have like little tiffs. But
where you fall with your sisters? It's like
I'm the youngest. Yeah, but we're 3 years apart. So it's like me, 1 year is the middle sister, and then 1 year is the older sister. So we're all very close. And like growing up, them like partying and stuff, it was like my sisters and my cousins. You know, like it was like all like family stuff. And so, yeah, little tips and stuff like that growing up. But as we got older, like my sisters and I are like tight, bro. Like my best friends, we talk about everything. Like if there's issues or problems, it's like these are the people that we go to and we look for like either comfort in or advice. But also the advantage that I have in that is both of them are extremely intelligent, bro, and both like successful in what they do. So I know that I can go to them for whatever it is, and they're gonna have actual like meaningful, intelligent advice that I can truly use. And and I do not take that for granted. I'm super grateful for that.
I feel like it's so interesting to like, you know, as you grow up and you start to realize like the collection of wisdom that, you know, whether it's looking at your parents or looking at your siblings. Like I have 4 sisters. I have 1 older and 3 younger, and very close to all of them. And I think about that, how it's like, oh yeah, wait, they know things. Like they know a lot. And you're like, oh yeah, like we're not just close. It's not just, you know, your siblings are your first friends usually more often than not. And so it's like, oh yeah, they also have, they're professionals. Like they're doing all the things. And I think it's, I don't know, I feel very grateful to have that awareness and to have, you know, and I also think there's something about having siblings, because I think like you're most known, I feel like, in fitness, and we live in an age where a lot of times like fitness can have that overlap with like, you know, it's a cliche overused word, but like it is kind of like this toxic masculinity. But I feel that I do think that having sisters probably plays a role in maybe being more open to like a, you know, more open-minded or kind perspective, heart-led like mindset. And like I've always sensed that in you, just such a kindness. And I think that, you know, so often people can misinterpret, you know, kindness for softness, and it's like, you know, no one's looking at you and thinking you're soft.
Appreciate that. Yeah. I mean, also too, like little things about sisters, like my nails are clean, bro. You know what I mean? My skin is taken care of. Like these are the things that like when you have in being so close to my sisters growing up, is like I wash my face with actual face wash and use like actual products. I like, you know what I mean? There's like a different level of like that from obviously learning from them too, and like also like they had friends I thought were hot, and so like what, you know what I mean? Like I see what they do and what they like, and I listen. I'm like, oh, so you know what I mean? These are, I have the best teachers right in front of me to go get what I want over here. You know what I mean? So, yeah, that's another advantage of having sisters, that like, you know,
understanding women.
I have, and I have a clean face. Thank you.
Yes, fair. Yeah, I feel like I'm always conscious of like, you know, being clean and trying to smell good.
yeah, exactly.
A little bit more. No. And then on the parents thing, it's super interesting. So like, what's that like background with your parents? Like what were, you know, you said you grew up with them separated. What, with being involved in sports, being like, what did they do? Whether, you know, I don't know what their impact for you, like in the professional sense or in the, you know, their life experiences that you feel like that you were impacted by.
So I played soccer growing up, like my whole life, right? And they were like the engine behind keeping me going. And when I had quit in college, I went to a community college. They cut the men's soccer program that year. And like, that was just like, this is the first time in my life I didn't have like a structured schedule that I had to stick to. So now I'm going to party and this and that, blah, blah. And so that was the end of soccer. And I could tell that like my dad, he never told me, but I could tell like he's definitely sad about it, because this was like the thing, you know what I mean? This was us and our connection growing up, and he had no soccer background at all. He just started coaching me when I was like 6 years old. Oh. And picked up legitimately like soccer books and learned how to do drills and started paying attention, started learning on his own, became, at least at that time, like Region 393 Palmdale AYSO, became probably the most known soccer coach in the area, which is crazy. Yeah. And it was just off sheer ambition of like wanting to just be good at things. And I think that's another thing that I get from like my dad. My dad is from the military. So like, still wakes up early on a Sunday to clean, still does, you know what I mean, things like on a schedule. He's super structured. And those were things that I saw growing up that obviously I didn't want to do growing up. And he would have me get up to go do these things. But these are things that I've kept, you know, present in my life today. And I mean, the dynamic was actually really good, bro. Like both of my parents stayed friends. They worked together. My mom didn't live too far away from my dad anyway. So like it was easy to bounce back and forth and see them. We commuted from Palmdale to Los Angeles to school every day. So it's like, even if I was living at my dad's house, I saw my mom every day because she drove me to school. So there's like, I think if it couldn't have, it could have been a worse situation is what I'm saying. You know what I mean? It was actually, I'm grateful for the situation that it was and that they kept the connection that they did. And there was never any animosity between like any sides. And things were, I mean, as parents were separated, it was as good as it could have been, legitimately. And so
it's also all you know. Like I always think about that because my parents, you know, they divorced before I turned 1 year old, had split custody. So like I got to grow up in both households. With both parents, and and people have always, you know, asked, and I think what that was like, or like, you know, do you want it to be different? And I was like, I don't know, it's all I know. And it was, and I'm glad to have, you know, the relationships with them both that I had. And so it's like, I would say that's something that, you know, in hindsight, I become more and more grateful to as I talk to people that didn't get to spend time with both of their parents, like if their parents were split up. And so it's certainly, and then like you said, just the fact they're doing all of these things for us, so present, and then managing life. And as an adult, you're like managing your own life and your social life, your professional life, and then you're like, oh my gosh, and they were taking care of these small humans.
Multiple.
Yeah.
I'll be having a mental breakdown of looking at my dog like, do something.
Oh my God!
Help me.
How long have you had your dog? Real quick.
I've had a dog. So I had gotten my first dog that I'd gotten as my own adult dog. I was dating a girl at the time. I was on my way to get a Subway sandwich, and there was a dog rescue at the park. And she's like, "Can we please just stop and look?" And I'm like, "We're not. There's no point. There's no point. We're not gonna stop. We're not gonna get a dog."
How long have you been together?
And so this was in like 2011.
No, but how long by then had you guys been together when she?
Oh, it was probably like 2-3 years ago.
Okay, it wasn't the first date where she's like, "Hey, can we look at dog?"
No. So it was like a substantial It was like an actual relationship. And so we end up looking at these dogs, and I leave with a dog, and I'm like, what am I, you know what I mean? You get home, I'm excited, and then like 2 days pass, I'm like, what am I doing, bro? Like, you know, like we had dogs growing up, but it was different. Like when I was little, my dog, it was in the backyard, you know, it's like so different. And so I was like, you know what? I made the commitment to this dog. I'm going to make sure that this dog is the best life. I'm going to do everything I can, this and that. And bro, she was the best dog. She actually 14 years old, like just passed away last year.
Oh, I'm sorry,
yeah, she was the best. And so she had a little buddy. I had got her a brother later on that year. So I had one. I was like, now I got to get two. And so keep them company. And they were the best, like legitimately the best. So I knew that my little dog had passed away a couple years ago. And my older dog, Buddha, she was my first dog. I was like, you know what? I wonder if she does need like a companion. Because like if I'm gone and this and that, blah, blah. So I was like, I'm going to just get her a companion. And I got Remy, the bull terrier. And like, bro, naive of me to think that he would be as easy as both of them. I had two. I was 2 for 2 with the other ones.
Yeah.
And like, bro, naive of me to think that he would be so easy. He's the most difficult dog, bro. Like, and I do everything. And I sent him to boot camp. And I've done everything. And my whole, like the whole concept was like, I'm gonna get him to keep her young. And like, Honestly, bro, I think he just stressed her out, like, for the last few years of her life, which is like the worst. No. And like, she loved him, and like they were cool and they played and stuff like that. But like, legitimately, if I look at the grand scope of things, I'm like, bro, his young years, he's 4 now, but like, bro.
And now how is he
though? Still like I joined a Facebook support group for bull terriers. I'm not even kidding. To just find out more about them and just like what are other people dealing with, and people legitimately come in here and it's a support group for real, like
that's
where they like
dog support groups,
bull terrier support group. If you have one, if you don't have one, join the support group first. And so they're all very, very similar, and you might get lucky and get a calm one, but like it's he's like a toddler, bro, that never ever stops. Whoa. And just is like good. He's well behaved now, but it's like it's an energy thing, and they have to release energy. And so like this is the first dog that I've realized, like, and that's it's like which I don't mind, right? Like in fitness and things like that, I want my dog to be able to do things and activities with me, but like it's not about wanting him to do these things with me. It's like I have to do things for him to release energy, or like, bro, 9 p.m. hits and he goes nuts, bro. Like he like legitimately is just like turns into a different dog. I'm like, what the fuck is going on, bro? Like, anyway, so yeah, that's my dog story, and I still have him now, and he's doing great.
So you're keeping your energy up to take care of your dog and the rest of your life. Where did the passion for fitness come in and the career come in? Like, did that start from you loving soccer, or what pushed you in that direction?
Yeah, it was. So when I was in Palmdale, knowing my whole thing was I'm getting a soccer scholarship, I'm getting out of here. And like, Palmdale, for people that don't know, Palmdale is like an hour outside of Los Angeles. It's like a little desert town. The thing is that most commonly, I feel like if you don't make an effort to really get out, you'll never leave it. And it's just far enough away from LA that you don't really go down much. And it's, you know what I mean?
Is Palmdale IE too?
No, it's up. So IE is out. Yeah. Palmdale's up. So Palmdale, Lancaster.
Yes. So, okay. Yeah. I think of the desert because I'm in Victorville. So like, very similar, like in that, like you got to get out, or you got to get out.
Or you're there forever. Yeah. And so like, it's, granted, like I don't take for granted my upbringing, because I think it was a good place for us and for as a family to grow and this and that. We had a house, and like, those are things that I'm grateful for. It's like we actually had a little backyard, we had a front yard, we had like things like this. And so like those are the advantages of living in Palmdale, especially as a young family or a family that might not have money, things like that. And so for me, I was like, no, bro. Like one of my sisters went to Cal State Fullerton. The other sister was at UCLA. So I was like, I'm gonna go play soccer somewhere. And the 2 scholarships that I got were UNLV and South Carolina, and those were 2 places that I didn't want to go. And I was like, I would like to stay local somewhere in California at least, but primarily Southern California, whether it's like SDSU, UC Irvine, UCLA, any one of these places. UCSB at the time was really good. So that was the goal, is let me play my 2 years at a Cal State, or at a even like a community college, 1 or 2 years there, figure out what I'm going to do with it. And obviously I did not. I just partied. And so because of that, I ended up falling into a groove of making that my new norm, bro, and like finding my comfort in that. And so like, instead of what I normally would be doing on weekends is playing games and this and that, and like prepping the week for that, it's now like, where's the party at on Friday? Where's the party at on Saturday? How are we going to keep this going till Sunday? You know what I mean? And like, that became like what I was doing. I was working at a coffee shop and working at Costco at the time, and I was going to school. So like, granted, I was still like working, I was still busy, but I think because I was tied down with so many of those things, there was nothing that was like, that was like the release for me that I actually needed, aside from like the party, right? There was not like the positive release for me, or like the thing that like, what is fulfilling myself right now in this moment. And I didn't have that. And so it got to a point, just a lot of shit was happening, bro. Like, one of my buddies died from an overdose, Oxycontin overdose. Like just like dumb stuff happened to people getting arrested. And I saw the trend of what was happening with the people around me, and I was like, I'm out, bro. I'm not doing this. And I legitimately cut everybody off. Like I just disappeared and just worked. And
what were you working at the time?
I was doing merchandising at Costco, and I was working at a coffee shop. And in the in-betweens when I wasn't in school, I had like extra time now. And so I was talking to my uncle, like, but my dad was always like jacked, bro. And like, just, they were always, all of them, like my dad's one of 4 brothers and 3 sisters. So one of 7, all of them jacked, all of them like ex-military, in the gym, this and that. And I never ever saw myself as being like that. Like, I'm like, bro, I'm not like trying to be no meathead, bro. Like, you know what I mean? Like, my dad comes home after a long day of work. He's outside bench pressing in the cold. I'm like, bro, you're tripping. And like, and so just like from him trying to get me to drink like protein shakes and things. The thing is, I think what it was like, you're a rebellious teen, and like, I'm not going to do what you want me to do. I'm going to do what I want to do. You know what I mean? It's like so stupid. And yeah, I got to a point that I'm like, I need to do something, you know? And so my uncle was like, meet me at the gym at 9 a.m. Like on all the days that you're not working or whatever, even if you are working that day, 9 a.m., like if 9 a.m. is a consistent time, meet me at the gym at 9 a.m. Yeah. And I started going to gym with my uncle at 9 a.m. And through, I mean, just like the ex-athlete and competitive spirit and this and that, my cousin was in there too. So we had a cool little group. And not that it was a competition by any means, but like there's a camaraderie of like, you know, we're working out and like, oh, you're pushing that, I'm gonna push that, you know, you're doing this, I'm doing that. And I'm talking like, bro, I was like skinny, fat, dead, like no muscle, skinny with a belly. Like I looked like one of the little aliens on Men in Black. Not even kidding, bro. Like with a cigarette in one hand, a beer in the other hand. I'm like, I have a photo. We could pop. I'll send it to you. You could pop it up right
perfect. We gotta see
bro.
that.
I'm like melasma all over my stomach of like just like, bro, it's just Jesus Christ. But it was a positive outlet for me for once. Yeah. You know, and I'm like, okay, cool. And it was. I don't have an addictive personality by any means to like anything, but I have like an ambition to succeed in things. So like if I'm in something, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna get good at this. I'm gonna be the fucking best at this, bro. Like I'm like, if I really like it and enjoy it and like I'm in it, I'm like, I'm gonna do everything I can to make sure that I'm optimizing. And so, I mean, that's kind of what happened, bro. I was just like in the gym, working out, this, that. I ended up going to CSUN. And so my foundation of me starting in the gym was pretty much like going to my uncle, pretty much calling me a bitch because I couldn't lift what was on the bar. And if I wanted to lift it, then I would have to get out, take off his weight and put on my weight. And like, you know what I mean? So it's like, that was the foundation of me being like, all right, I'm gonna start lifting, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that. But like, it was never a thing in my mind that like this was going to be a potential career opportunity for me, or this was going to be like what my life would be. It was just like, this was finally like the actual physical outlet that I needed in order to like, you know what I mean? Like just give myself like that thing. And, yeah, that was the foundation of me just like getting on, like figuring out food, figuring out this and that, like sitting by myself and one, learning about myself, but also two, how do I build like a stronger mentality with things? You know, how do I build like more of a belief in myself for things? How do I like build more confidence with this? How do I, you know, like work to like manage stressors in my life by sitting by myself and figuring things out by myself? And so like that, as dark of a time as it might have seemed, was like the genesis of like all of the good things that happened in my life from then.
What made you, like, what was your answer to the question of, you know, to those questions of like, how do I motivate myself, or how do I get myself out of this place? Like, was it as simple as, oh, I go to the gym, or was it like a sentence or a thought that started building that mindset?
No, I listened to, I don't know what it is. Like I found like piano music very soothing, and I would listen to like Ludovico Einaudi and like things. Okay. And something about that, like sitting, it was like meditation without me knowing that what I was doing really, you know, and like just sitting and like digging like deep within myself, of finding like all of the acceptance of things that like these are all the things that I know that I did wrong, or all the things that like whatever I might be ashamed about of like my time moving into the space that I'm in right now, of like, you know what I mean? The quitting on soccer and the quitting on myself and like this and that. These are all things that I've lived with, knowing like I probably let my dad down. I probably, you know, all the sacrifice that he made, and like, you know what I'm saying? These are all internal factors for people that that like, whether we want to like notice or not, we do sit with and we do have to deal with, and we do, whether you want to like bring it into the space to really work through it or not, like at some point we think about it, you know? Yeah. And so like these, at that point in my life, those were the things that I was thinking about, is like, bro, I'm like not at the university that I thought I was going to be at, like low key feel like a failure. All I'm doing is like, I'm fucking working at a coffee shop in the morning, and like, you know what I'm saying? Like my life could be this and should be this. I got homies that are playing like D1 right now, you know, like, sitting and accepting what the situation was, and knowing that I can only be better. I can only do more. I can only get better from where I'm at and move up, you know? And so, yeah, and I'm sure you can do it with people and you can grow with people, but that's work that like I could only do for myself by myself. And yeah, like those like solitude moments, I mean, they're so powerful, bro. They're like, they are. And I've worked a lot of jobs where I was like by myself. So like driving jobs, delivering things where it's like, I'm used to being by myself. So I was comfortable. I was comfortable in those moments without feeling like I needed somebody or something or a companion, or, you know? Yeah. Yeah. And I think some people have a difficult time with that. Some people feel like they need, you know, like someone to lean on or something, or, you know, like that's one thing. Luckily for me, and like my mind is I know that I'm comfortable by myself, completely by myself. And like, that was when I really started to do the work on, you know, accepting what it was and who I was and what I wanted to do, and like, how do I move forward in a positive way and continue with more positive habits in my life, and yeah, not just like slip back into like bad habits, essentially, is what it was.
So like, what would you say to someone if they are, you know, how do they use that alone time to make these shifts, these changes that you were doing?
Yeah, I mean,
and I'm asking you because like I've seen I feel like some of the videos that you posted, I don't know if they're it looks like you might just be tuning us into some of your like coaching calls or something at times. I don't know if that's what you're doing. I've just seen you like, it looks like you're talking to the computer or someone, and just you'll drop these like motivational gems, and so I just want to be able to share that with more people. So that's why I appreciate that. Yeah, no, truly, I think it is really cool.
Yeah, no, so those I find like creatively, right? So like I've had like always a creative bug in me, regardless of like whether it's like design or like whatever it is, arts, in like a lot of different ways. And I find that I exercise my mind creatively well when I write, and I write whether it's like music or like lyrics or things like that. And from like, I used to think that I was going to be a rapper when I was like 14 years old, legitimately. And like, I'm going to be that guy. And so from that, and writing poems from when I was younger, of like girls and like two girls and stuff like that, it's something that it was a creative outlet for me to then make motivational, just like content, and not necessarily just like be for obviously for content, but like as a creative outlet for me to write something meaningful that like either I'm dealing with or going through, or something that I know I've already dealt with and gone through, and these are the ways that I can help somebody else, and I can convey that message. And so what's a different way for me to do versus just telling you like, believe in yourself and be motivated and this and that, you know, like I can cadence it differently and make it rhyme, and like, you know, like drop it in a little bit different way, so that people that might need it at the time, it might catch their ear differently, where they actually take the time to listen to it, you know? And so that's like essentially the concept behind when I speak. A lot of it is in like spoken word. Yeah. And it's for that reason alone, of like, I think it's just, one, I like to do it, and two, I think it just offers some a little bit differently that it like might catch somebody at the right time, or just gives them just a little bit more of a reason to listen to something, because they're like, wait, that rhymed. You know what I mean? As simple as that. Like, oh, that first one rhymed, so what is this next one going to be? And then
it's easier to commit to memory. It's easy. And things that are pleasant to the ear, like, you know, someone usually likes to hear. Yeah. So it's like, I didn't mean to do that one, but I'm glad it rhymed. Yeah. Okay, so how do we go from working out in the gym, you know, with your Men in Black alien body, with your family, to training Jennifer Lopez?
Yeah, it's actually, I'll make it a short story.
Okay.
So out of college, the vision of myself was like, I'm gonna be fucking like Pitbull, bro, and like be in a suit every day, and like and like obviously he's not, I don't know why he's the example, but he's just the one guy that I could think of that's in a suit all the time, and I'm like, I'm gonna be in a fucking suit and like
But I feel you.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Something about a suit, like, all just the time. It felt important.
Yeah, exactly. And so I got a job with a headhunting agency for law firms downtown off of 7th in Figueroa, and it was a great spot actually. And the owner of that company like took a chance on me and was just like, I like you, I like the charisma, this and that, blah, blah, I'm gonna bring you in and try to teach you the game, and we'll see what happens. The thing was, like, fresh out of college, I had like super baby face. I was like, you know what I mean? Like clean shaven, this and that. Like I looked like I was 12 years old. And so in law, people have been in law for so long, bro. So like lawyers have been lawyers for as long as I've been alive. Is what it was. And so
fair.
What happened there is it was difficult for me to really grow in the company, because I always needed one of the partners with me or someone else to be able to speak to a lawyer, because a lot of them wouldn't take me seriously because they would be like, you're just a kid, what do you know? You know? And so my role there kind of became placing paralegals. So like paralegals and legal secretaries. And a lot of them were girls that were out of college that were looking for legal jobs. And he was like, take the Range Rover, take her to lunch, find out about her, and then pick one of these spots, because these are going to be one of the best spots for her. You know what I mean? And so that ended up being my job. And I was like, okay, I could do this.
Yeah.
But like,
wait, you want me to take
you would take girls to free lunches, bro? Like, okay, cool. But the thing was, like, obviously the ceiling, there's a ceiling there, you know. So like you want to be placing lawyers, because the way the pay commission works is I get a commission on what their first year salary is.
Oh yeah.
And so if you're placing
very different paralegal.
Exactly. If I'm placing 40Ks versus 350Ks, you know, it's a very, very big difference. And so I was going to work every day, coming back home, and in the gym, it was like rush hour time. It was like 7 p.m. where it's like packed. And I'm like, man, like I'm gonna just do what I can with what I have. And I started filming it. And like, that was like the beginning of like what B.Motiv8ed's Instagram was, is like, this is, my gym is packed. I don't have access to all the equipment. So these are different ways to do this. Instead of a bench press, do this if you have dumbbells. Instead of this, do this. This is going to be the same thing as this, you know? And so, and without a lot of talking, anything, just like actual, just visuals. Yeah. And so from seeing other people's videos and like actually getting into the content creation type thing at the time, I was like, oh, let me start mixing up angles. Let me start doing this. Let me start doing that. And so from that is when I was like, okay, now I'm going to start doing like, I know that I'm athletic. So let me try to start really doing athletics. So let me do more of like showy stuff, content, like attention grabby type stuff. And like, we filmed a video together, but it's a workout.
I've seen it's a like, process. Like, this man's an artist.
But it's like, it is an actual workout when you're doing that. And like for people like that look at it and they're like, you probably only did one. Like, bro, we had to do 10.
Oh my gosh.
We had to do 10, not just one. Trust me.
And that was after a workout.
The workout,
too,
yeah.
Too. We did a workout, because that is for sure key. Is if
do the workout first. Do the workout, then do the content. Or you won't do the workout.
Exactly. And then the downside is that then you are, I mean, I guess you're warmed up, but you're also a little struggling.
You're tired for the content, you know? So it's you got to pick and choose the battle. But But yeah, so that was that. And so I was making a long story, and now I'm making a short story long.
It's an interesting story. It's fine.
But from that, just posting on Instagram started to gain a little bit of traction and like just the stuff that I was doing. And at that time, J.Lo's boyfriend reached out to me. So there was a couple people that I was actually tapped into, like just like going out at night and stuff, like in like different clubs. Like I just happen to always have like, luckily I just always had like plugs at different spots. And so like Patrick Ta, big makeup artist, I started training him like at the very beginning of Patrick Ta, which is like it's crazy to see now like where he's at in his career versus like where we were at when we were both starting.
I guess how did you even start training people? Like, because you went from like getting into it yourself, and then did you fall into training? Like somebody saw you at the gym and was like, hey, help, or did you have a actual decision to try and do that?
No, so it was me being at 24 Hour Fitness and legitimately guys being like, you look good, like can you train me? And so going and telling them like, I'm gonna be here at this time if you want to come work out at this time. Then like, wow, at that time I'm like, pay me $40, and for me I'm like, oh, this is a deal right now. I got my whole month. I got my whole month paid. You know what I mean? So like, pay me $40, and that was like where it started for me to like, one, I needed that though, right? That was like not me being the one to make the decision to go get like a certificate, then try to find a client. It was someone coming to me being like, I want to train, And so I'm like, okay. And so through that, I learned like, okay, so there's a lot that goes into training and like people things, like not necessarily like therapy type sessions, but like there's a lot of like, you have to be able to like just be around a lot of different peoples and a lot of different moods and a lot of different environments and a lot of different things, right? And so you have to be like a very neutral personality to like start training a lot of people, because people are very, very different and people like different things. People want to be pushed, some don't, So like you have to be very flexible. And so that's where I started to learn that is like, oh, this guy wants to like really work out, but like then I'm training this girl and this girl's like, can we not do that? Or like, let's do this. And, and so it was that and figuring that out of like, oh, these are the ways that now I know that like I need to move it as a teacher, right? I was being taught how to be a teacher at the time. And, from there, bro, like I going out, met Patrick, I started training Patrick. I started training like, a few of the models that he was working with. And like from then, and like the Instagram was still it was like 2014, 2015. So like Instagram was still not massive. It was still pretty new, but fitness was slowly becoming a thing in Instagram. And this was my opportunity. I could see the big picture. Like if I'm tapped into these people and I've not even really tapped into myself as like, to like my full capabilities of this. Like if I'm already tapped into these people, like where could I go with this? And it was that was my mindset, bro. From the beginning is like, I'm going to be the best at this. Okay. Again, like stemmed from the very beginning of like, now I'm connected to this person. Now I'm connected to this. I'm connected to these girls. I'm connected to like this. And so it was from there posting with them and then posting like crazy workouts. And so J.Lo's boyfriend at the time wrote me a DM and was like, hey, and even at that time, I think he had like 200K followers. So for me, I was like, damn, 200K, that's crazy, this and that, So, and I had no idea who it was. He was like, hey, like, I really like this. I want to work out, this and that. So I'm like, okay, cool. And I met him the same night. It was a Friday night. I remember 24 Hour Fitness in Woodland Hills. And we did a whole workout and he was like, so I need to get on a diet and this and that. Like I have like some things coming up that I really need to like look right for. So essentially he had a movie that he needed to be ready for in 6 days they shot 6 months ago. Then they needed to reshoot one more scene of him shirtless. Oh, and I was like, my gosh. I was like, bro, this is impossible. He was like, I believe in you. You know what I mean? So I was like, all right. And so I legitimately gave him, so I had done like a men's physique competition not too long before that. So I was like shredded, bro, at the time. And he was like, I just need whatever we can do in the time that we have, right? And so I put him through legitimately like what a peak week would be in competition prep, where you have to cut water, you have to really dial a lot of things down. It's brutal, bro. And it worked out. He looked good, but from the one session that we had, we went to the grocery store, bought him a bunch of groceries, and he was like, "I want you to be at Jen's house on Monday." And this was on Friday. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, Jen's house? And he was like, yeah. He was like, her people will reach out to you, so come on Monday. And I'm like, okay. So like, I went from no celebrities to Jennifer Lopez, which was wild, bro. Like, wild. I didn't even have a training certificate. Like, legitimately. I did not even have a training certificate, like nothing. And I was like, all right, cool. And so, Monday ended up at Jen's house, like at her actual house. She has like a gym space in her house. It's like a dance studio gym space. There's enough equipment in there, treadmill and things like that. And so she would rotate actually with me and another girl, Tracy Anderson. She's like a pretty popular trainer. And at that time, and Tracy Anderson would take her through like more of like Pilates type stuff, and then I would take her through like weightlifting, those type things, right? On opposite days. I never ever saw her there, but watching her work taught me so much about work ethic of like, I'm not doing enough, bro. Like, legitimately.
I was going to ask.
Yeah, she's like from a meeting straight into the training, done with the training, straight out into a meeting. Yeah. Or straight into, or like, it was never a day where she's like, chilling, I got time, I got this. It was like, it was every single day, bro. And like for like a year and a half, 2 years, every day that we trained, it was boom, 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 out, in, out, out. And like from that, I was like, oh, so like she legitimately is one of those people that like this is like a one. I mean, she's Jennifer Lopez and she's on screen and this and that. So like it's a physique that I mean, everybody on screen wants to keep, you know, but like the work ethic, bro, like was crazy. And she would come in and crush it, bro, like hard, work out really hard, put on DMX and like go nuts. And like, yeah, like legit Jenny from the block. I was like, oh, this is great, actually. And so that was like my first celebrity, and that was the one that kind of took it off. I mean, you don't get bigger than that at that time, you know.
Yeah.
Which was I mean, which it was crazy, bro. It was surreal for like the short amount of time that like when I started training to being with her was a surreal experience.
Yeah. Is that something that you notice? Because it's funny that you actually mentioned that. I was going to ask because I've heard other people talk about, you know, when you are encountering people that are performing at super high levels, that you do notice like, oh, they waste no time. Like they have something. Is that something that you notice across the board with the other like celebrity people you're working with that like what's I guess some of that work ethic and just the ethos, the environment that you noticed that was consistent in these environments?
Yeah. So not everybody has the same kind of work ethic, but obviously it's more important to some people than it is other people. Right. And so I met Prince Royce through her, and I ended up on a tour with Prince Royce. We did a whole nationwide tour with Ariana Grande, and this was his crossover. So he's a huge Spanish artist, like household name in Spanish, and this was Ariana Grande's first solo tour. So it was a big deal for her as well. And he was on the tour with her doing an English album. So it was like his crossover and his step into English music. And so
that's an interesting combo.
Yeah. So it was a great tour, bro. It was such a cool experience. And he's another dude that he does not stop, bro. Does not stop working. And like in has like such a positive like just a positive like work life just ethic in general, and always looking to optimize, always looking to make himself better. And so he this was the first time ever that he was like taking his shirt off for fans. And so in his last song, he has a song with J.Lo actually on that on that album, and that was the last song that he would do before Ariana would come on. He would take his shirt off, right? And so his whole thing was like, I need to have abs for my whole tour and this and that. So we worked out, we ate healthy, we did this, we did that, and he did everything that he had to do. And so because these were English fans and these were Ariana fans, he would still break off and do shows in smaller cities for his fans while we were on the tour. So we had like 48 stops with her, but on the in-betweens of traveling, when like maybe her camp would have like a couple of days off in Pennsylvania or something like that, we would bounce to like a Sprint store to do a meet and greet, and then bounce to like a smaller venue to go do one for him, and then go to the next city to go do that one the next day, and then go to like that. So he didn't party, didn't like, very rarely like maybe have like a drink with dinner or drink like whatever, celebratories, whatever. Yeah. But like he was someone that I was like, damn, this fool doesn't, he don't fuck around, bro. Like he's about this, and he's very, very serious about his work, very serious about where he knows that he wants to be. And so that was another thing, is like someone on that scale that still has a vision of where he needs to go and the work that he needs to do to get there was inspiring for me. Cause I'm like, at that time I felt like, you know, in comparison, I'm like, I'm here, you know, and I'm like, how will I ever be like that if I'm not always like that too, you know? And so that was like such a positive experience for me as well. Of like, we had a great time, you know, but it's funny, like you might hear stories of tours of like, it's all parties and it's all this and it's all that. On that tour, like that tour was work, bro. I'm sure. In all the best ways, and we had a great time. But like, really, really eye-opening for me in terms of what I thought it was going to be and what it ended up being. And it ended up being great for a lot of different reasons.
I'm sure. And then, so from there, you feel like, is that where you started shifting? Did you focus more on like celebrity clients, or were you starting to build your roster for like virtual training, or where did that path go?
Yeah. So for in-person training, there will always be a ceiling. And I realized that pretty quick, because traveling to these clients is like, it's not an easy task. Like I'll have Normani like in downtown. She was downtown at the time. And then I might have like the game in Calabasas. Yeah. And like, if you know Los Angeles, bro, like there's no good time to go to either one of those places. So like, you know what I mean? Knowing like
I've lived in both, yes.
This is a full work day of traveling between two clients, you know, and like really great clients. Obviously, I'm grateful to be in the position, but in terms of scalability, I don't have the time. And the thing is, I can't send somebody on my behalf because it's me.
That's the whole point,
you know. So like, realizing that, I was like, you know what, I'm gonna create an online program that's at home workouts. I know the thing is, like, not everybody's going to be able to do. A lot of people might not find motivation in the crazier stuff that I do. Like maybe people will find motivation in the speaking. Maybe people will find motivation in the more just like fundamental type stuff. But what it is like, I think primarily people just want to be more healthy. Yeah. And people want like a positive like mind frame shift or like that. They need the steps to like get going is what it is. And this is like the masses of America. And so for me, I was like, if I'm thinking in terms of scalability, obviously a lot of people go to the gym, but there's a lot of people that don't. So I'm going to create an at-home workout program with a lot of the calisthenic type stuff that I would do with these clients. And so on the back of what I was doing with my celebrities, I'm going to put that into a program with a bunch of mindset training and mindset like focus type things. And we're going to push that and we're going to see how that goes. And it crushed, bro. I was surprised at how well it did. And so we dropped it, we made it 2018, we dropped it 2019, and then COVID hit. And so it was like the perfect storm for what that was. And so I had a buddy of mine, really good with just like media buying and Facebook marketing and things like that. Like that was an area of things that I needed to learn, but I didn't know. And I was good with selling. I just didn't know how to put the money behind it and how to like put it in front of the right people in terms of like the actual Facebook media buying. And so, yeah, my buddy at the time who he actually approached me to do the program Motivated8ed, and was really good with building out e-com and things like that. And so that was the piece that I needed on the back end. I could do the front end, he could do the back end. And my first Motivated8ed ad was the most watched fitness ad in all of 2019.
Wow.
Yeah.
Do you more so from like is that like the way you guys distributed it, or what was it about the ad that you feel made it so? It was both.
Okay. I gotta show you that.
Yeah. We'll have to watch it.
Yeah. It was like almost like a persona of I'd like develop a persona almost for what this was. And like all of the ads that we did had like different tones in them. Some of them were funny. Some of them were like more serious. Some of them honestly were like a little bit like conceited cocky of like me like walking with my shirt off and it's all dark and me being like, you know what, you guys want it easy? I'm fine. I'm gonna make it easy for you. $47. This is all you got to do. This and that, blah, blah. So you can stop being lazy. You know what I mean? Like things like that. But what I came to find is like, I didn't think that ad would do so well. And that was like a wing. We were just in a garage. I was like, let's try to film this and see what happens. And people pull motivation from it. You never know what someone's going to be motivated by, right? You need the tone of being in someone's face and telling them like, you need to stop being lazy. You need to get up and do something for yourself. Then you need a softer tone of, more of an inspiring belief in yourself type thing, because you are capable of more than what you're giving yourself right now. And if you love yourself that much, as you should, then you should do these things for yourself. You know, there's all these different tones in like different ways that people are motivated. And so the one that crushed, it was like, I pull up in my car in Beverly Hills, and we're like in the middle of the street with all the what is it called? The palm trees.
Yeah.
And I get out of the car and I'm like, yeah, I got an 8-pack. And I'm like, and then I'm like, you could too, if you wanted to. And like stay tuned, I'll tell you how. And then like a chick gets out of the car, and it's like a model that we hired for the day, who ended up being super cool. She's like a foot taller than me, bro, like a runway model. And she gets out, I'm like, yeah, that chick's with me. I'm like, and you want a chick like that too? Stick around, I'll show you how. And then like walk into like a different scene. And so it was like obviously a tone that like wouldn't be me, but it was a tone that I found would sell. Mm-hmm. Because one way or another, either someone's gonna be like, this dude's a fucking douchebag, bro. Yeah. Like this dude's a loser. Or someone's gonna be like, I wanna be like that. You know, and like the numbers show that people wanted that, you know? And so, it crushed in terms of numbers in 2019. We dropped it, November, December, January. In those 3 months, we did like $1.3 million in sales on a $47 workout program.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which is like crazy.
Yeah. That's amazing though. I feel like it's a collection of everything though, because it's not just that video, it's all of the experiences collected that lead up to this. And I feel like for you, do you think that there's anything that's stood out? So you're connected with all of these different people, so you have suddenly, what is that, I'm blanking on the math now, like 20,000 sales or something.
Yeah.
What did you notice, having that scale, did that come with its own lessons about like, oh wow, interacting with this many people is, crazy or interesting? Like any learnings from just that many interactions?
Yeah. So there's a lot of people that they buy it and they do it and they're quiet. They're not like, you know what I mean? They're not like actively a part of a community. So we built a community on Facebook, like the Motivate8ed community, that had probably like 12 to 15,000 people in it, somewhere in there. and I had we had hired pretty much customer service people to like keep it updated, to respond to people, this and that. But I was also active in the community at the time, and yeah, bro, you then had people that were on their third round of Motivated Fit that were like now leading other groups of people doing Motivated Fit, and it was like the power of community is I mean, without purchasing, you know what I mean? Like that power of like true community is like, it's priceless, bro. And there's like, it's the potential is crazy because you can then, these people fully trust you. So like, I would never put out something that I don't fully believe in or trust myself. That's why I don't promote anything. Like you look at all my stuff, I'm promote nothing, you know? And so at that time too, we knew like, oh, we could do supplements or we could do something or we can drop something in here. And the thing is like all these people are going to buy it because they enjoy the program. They're already tied into this. They're all part of the community. They're all going to do it together. And so that's when I really, really learned. Like I knew through like Instagram too, just like talking to the audience through stories and like things like that. It builds a different level of like, one, engagement, but like it builds a different level of connection with the people that are following you, whether you know it or not. Yeah. People might not ever tell you that, but the thing is like it does. And like some people will tell you that and you'll realize like, damn, I think I'm really doing something good here.
Is there any stories of like transformations, you know, full body and mind transformations that stand out to you that, you know, come to mind as like, oh wow, this is really powerful because of, you know, it stood out for any reason?
Yeah. I mean, so I would get a lot of messages at that time, and I do the justice of going through all of these messages because I don't know who it is or what it is. There's opportunities in there. There's like, it might be nothing, it might be something, but these is the cliches it might sound. These are people that are taking the time out of their day to write me, to ask me a question, right? Or like look for advice or, like tell me a story or tell me what's going on in their lives, you know? And like these are very vulnerable situations for a lot of these people because these are self-growth type things that a lot of these people are going through. And yeah, there's a lot of like really dark messages of people in really bad spots, bro, of I'm doing my best or you know what I mean? Like I'm very, very depressed. I've gained a lot of weight. I don't know what to do. I don't know like what the next move is. I legitimately like, I don't do anything. I lay in bed. Guys, like I had a guy on there that I was recently divorced. My wife had left, this and that. I don't see my kids. I don't like, there's a lot of different stories of that. Yeah, people with a lot of issues. And so for me, like, I want to try to help everybody, you know, and like, it's difficult because reading all of that and like empathizing with situations is energetically draining, you know, definitely. And like, and being around, like, you can't always be around darkness and surround yourself because like it'll pull you in, you know? And so, yeah, there's a lot of situations, of people in like really, really bad spots that something as small as like me also taking the time back to like conversate with this person and you know, like even if it's just a little bit, bro, of like bro, the darkest times, you know, like what is the saying? It's like it's darkest before dawn, like dusk is darkest before dawn, or like things like that. Like the thing is there is a light if you want there to be light, you know, and whether you want it to be there or not, the thing is as long as you work towards that light, there is going to be a light in one way or another, and you'll learn a lot in that process. But man, a lot of really great physical transformation, hundreds of pounds. Some people like there was a guy in Denmark who was 350 pounds, did Motivated Fit like multiple times, ended up running his first marathon. Oh gosh. Yeah, like things like that, and like success stories like that I'm like, it's crazy in my mind. Like, yeah, like we're making this to help people, but also this is like for us, we're like, this is also a business opportunity too. But when you do see the positive impact that it has on people like that, of like his life is completely different now. He has completely different habits. His like mindset is completely different. You know, he feels very differently about himself now. It's like off of like a workout program that took us a day to film. You know, like it's crazy. It is pretty crazy how powerful a lot of his stuff is, whether people really realize it or not. That a lot of people do look up to, I'm sure you as well, because you put out a lot of like positive stuff, even right now with the 100 push-up thing that you're doing.
Oh, yeah, thanks.
Like we noticed, but whether you notice it or not, there's someone out there that you are influencing, and somebody's watching, and somebody's seeing this, and somebody's seeing that you're consistent. Somebody's like, oh, you know what, like, I've never done any push-ups before, but he's doing it every day. Let me just try. Let me do this. Let me do that. You know, and like there are people's lives that are changing. So it's like, it's so interesting. I've always felt in an odd way that like I'm so conscious of the things that I put out, because I feel like there's a responsibility on my end to make sure that what I give people is value in one way or another. Yeah. And it's not just like, I don't ever just like put something just to put something, you know, like it's always thought out. It's always, you know, like how am I going to help somebody in one way or another? Like what am I offering, you know, like what am I offering to the world? What am I offering to people? What am I offering to somebody that might be down? Or like, yeah, it's odd. It's like an odd responsibility that I put on myself, whether I have the responsibility or not. It's a responsibility that I put on myself, you know?
Well, that's such an interesting like aspect to, you know, being in the public eye. Obviously you know, at this grander scale so much longer, it is knowing that, you know, the words that you say, like they can impact people, you know, the things that you do. And so it's just like trying to figure out like, okay, because this is, you know, real, like, is this, how do I harness this responsibility? How do I do it? And like, I don't know, it's a very weird thing to think about, to know that, you know, what I do impacts somebody or influences somebody, and it's,
yeah, it matters.
Yeah.
But and that goes for everybody though. Yeah. Like that's like everybody's like all
to
of
somebody.
Yeah, everybody's stuff matters to somebody, whether they know it or not, or think it or not, or whatever it is. Like, you know, for like a lot of people will ask like, how do I get started in this? I want to do this. I want to do influence and this and that. And the thing is, like that's one of the like most accurate pieces of advice is like, whatever you're doing, whatever you're putting out, it's going to matter to somebody. What now, later, whatever it is. So like, you know what I mean? Like we do have a responsibility at some point, and to some extent, of like, you know, I guess it's like based on like what you do, you know, but like for me at least, I do feel that responsibility to like deliver value to people.
It makes sense with the platform and everything you've built. It's Spider-Man, with great power comes great responsibility, and you're owning that, and I appreciate and respect it a lot. And so, on advice, one question as we get towards the end is obviously everybody's different, as you said. You know, each person can have their own individual problems. Is there, you know, you're talking to someone who wants to change their life, like they want to add in that, you know, consistency, the discipline, like both in mindset and physique and just overall health. Are there questions that you ask, or like where do you start? Like where could somebody start? They're watching this and they're hearing, it's like, hey, this is the first things I would think about, and these are the first steps I might take in general.
Yeah, one is your mind will always come first, because your body will only do what your mind tells it to do. And so you'll only move once you've convinced yourself that I need to move in order to progress or succeed or to make my life better, right? I need to, if I really want to lose weight, essentially, right? Or like whatever the goal might be. If I for a runner, if I want to get to a situation where I can run a half marathon, I want to run a marathon. The thing is, I have to start moving. I have to start running a little bit. I have to start like dealing with the pain. I got to do all these different things. So one first, and so this was the important thing when I made Motivated8ed, was the whole mindset portion. You had to go through all of it to unlock the workouts.
Nice.
So you had to do the mindset part to get someone in that, like, in the zone, you know? And so, and I know that because that's what I did. And that was me in Palmdale sitting by myself and like, you know, listening to my piano music and like trying to motivate myself and like meditate. But ideally you have to make the decision first. And so this is the thing, is like motivation comes second to discipline. And it sounds odd, but like, so I'm like putting it together in my head. So motivation does come second to discipline, right? And so that might sound contrary to what I'm saying in terms of you need to get your mind right first before you do something. But the thing is that regardless of if you want to do that thing or not, if you're disciplined in doing that, there will always be an upward trend. You will always have progress, right? And so whether you feel like doing whatever you want to do, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter if you feel good about it, bad about it, sad about it, angry right now, whatever it is. As long as the discipline is happening, the motivation can be there or not. And so you need to make the decision to build a habit to do the things every day that you know that you need to do, whether you want to do it or not.
Yeah.
And it's that understanding of, I'm tired, like the understanding of like my dad commute to work, come back, pick me up, drive me to Pasadena, and then drive back and then go to work at 4 a.m. the next morning. And the thing is, he didn't want to do that, but he knew for my sake, it keeps me out of trouble, it gives me a future, all these things. This is what he had to do, And so that's really what it is in terms of getting started with something or sticking to something or like wanting to make a positive change in your life, whether it's a mentality or whether it's a physical change. Is that like, if you want to make a mental change, then journal, spend a little bit of time with yourself, think about these things, like learn to accept the things that maybe you might not like about yourself, and like try to like dissolve the things that like other people might think about you, because it doesn't, no one cares at the end of the day. Like, we think people care so much and no one cares, bro. And so real. Yeah. And like all of that comes with the discipline. If you practice these things and you create positive habits, it doesn't matter how you feel in the moment, as long as you're doing it, And so you can never get there if you don't just start doing it. So you just like, you do it first and worry about how you feel about it later.
I saw something that said that discipline is doing the thing you said you're going to do, even when the mood you were in when you said that has left you.
Absolutely, yeah. Yeah,
think about that.
That's true. You might be all pumped. You might, leave a Tony Robbins thing.
Yeah,
you're like, yeah, and you feel like you're going to do a lot of things, and then you don't. But if you stick to it, you like, when you really didn't want to do it, you're like, man, I was super hyped about it then. I'm really tired right now. But, I told myself I was going to do it, and I'm doing it. So it's making that decision to stay disciplined regardless of how you feel. And, like, that's the important thing.
No, definitely makes sense. For fueling all of that, we got to talk about Thrive, because genuinely, I think that just being, in the fitness space, me to a much lesser degree than you, I feel like, you get approached by so many different brands, you get to try a lot of stuff. And then just if you're motivated to try and, be better, you have that desire internally to seek out like, hey, what's the best program or the best supplements for me? And so I've tried so many things. Genuinely, nothing tastes as good as the pina colada flavor that you guys have, the protein that you had me try.
Yeah.
Crazy good. And so like, where did Thrive come from? Like, what was the creation point of Thrive? And like, did you focus on, was that what you set out to do, was like, hey, I'm gonna make the best tasting protein that's ever been made, or or like, what was it? Yeah,
it's the highest of compliments, so I appreciate that.
I mean it. I stand by it, because I'm like, no, anybody could taste this and they will be like, yeah, this is the most delicious I've ever had.
Yeah, so one, I wanted to make something that was like an extension of like myself, right? So like, whether it's B.Motiv8ed, this, that. So like, even with little things in the packaging, when you open it, it has like the Maya Angelou quote, says, my mission in life is not just to survive, but to thrive. And I wanted like little pieces of me put in this thing. And like, I had for me to be able to like design something and create something and like have something in my mind as like a concept and like actually bring it out into the world is special. And so the original concept of Thrive was, it was built off of a team, and I had a couple different influencers with me. from the beginning of it. And just sometimes things just don't work out the way that you expected it to work out. You thought it was going to work out, you know? And so for us, the thing always was going to be to thrive together, you know, and you can thrive anywhere, any place. That's why I put everything in stick packs. And so everything is convenient. Everything is mobile. You can bring it with you. It's like you can bring single serves with you all the time. But difference. Yeah, so the advantage that I have, because I work with a supplement manufacturer. So I run all the digital, the creative director of a supplement manufacturer, and we have like the best flavor house, bro. Like like it's now that I've been in that game for a couple years now, I understand the magnitude of what Simpson Labs is and how good Simpson Labs is as a company in terms of like everything, efficiency, safety, like all of the different things, you know. And so our flavors house is so good at flavoring everything, right? We have award-winning proteins. We have award-winning pre-workouts. We have like a lot of award-winning things that we've done that are in the market now. And you could go into like a GNC or a vitamin shop, and in 70% of the stuff that's in there we make. And so, yeah, it's pretty crazy. It's pretty crazy. And with that flavor house and me knowing, I was like, this is such an advantage. Like, I'm going to make the most fire protein. And like, it didn't take too many renditions, because like our flavor guys are really good. And so the did you try the other ones?
Not yet.
Yeah. So that pina colada one, I didn't even ask to try another pina colada. Like once I tried that pina colada, I was like, yo. And so just like for the people, so a quick breakdown of like why and what makes it different, right? So it's clear protein. Clear protein is hydrolyzed. Hydrolyzed is just a process of breaking down molecules and with water.
You guys have clear protein, and clear protein makes, like, what's the difference that makes?
Yeah, so the process in creating clear is just a little bit different than normal whey protein. So it's still a whey protein. It's still derived from a milk protein. So you start with it's a very high quality whey protein, hydrolyzed. It breaks down the molecules and it pulls out the milk, essentially. And so it's just like how your body will break down like a complex carb versus a regular carb, right? A complex carb has 3 different molecules in it. It has to break down. It takes longer. The water is doing that and breaking down these molecules and separating the protein, separating the milk, separating all these different things, right? So it pulls all the lactose out. Okay. And so without saying, there might be 0.0000 something of some type of lactose in there, but it's essentially lactose free, right? So it's not going to upset anyone's stomach ever. And which is such an advantage to have with protein, because that's why a lot of people don't drink whey proteins, because it hurts their stomachs, or it doesn't sit well, or it doesn't digest well. And so we have enzymes in it. We have like everything that you would need in a good protein. And so because all of the lactose is pulled out, it creates a thinner consistency in terms of mixing. So when you mix it with water, it's now just like juice instead of like milk. So if you were to take like a normal vanilla or chocolate whey, it creates like a thicker like shake. Yeah. Could be like chalky or something. When you do clear, it dilutes so well in just water, and it's the consistency of the water still, right? It doesn't thicken it at all. And so now you have the ability to flavor it however you want to. And like the acidic profile, because of the hydrolyzation, is a little higher than it would be normally in a normal way. So because of the acidity, you can make it fruity, you can make it like whatever you want. And so you're now able to flavor proteins like you never would before. You don't always have to drink peanut butter chocolate Reese's shake, you know what I mean? You don't always have to drink like the cinnamon bun and this and that. It doesn't always have to be a dessert. Yeah. Because that's essentially what the like protein industry was built on. It's like making proteins taste like desserts, you know? Now you can make them juices. And so like with the pina colada, you can have on the side of like, you can have it in the morning, you can have it in the evening, you can have it before bed, you can have it on the side of a meal, and it would feel just like a juice. And so like the fruit punch is flavored after Hawaiian punch. So, and it's,
oh wow, I'm excited for that.
And it tastes just like Hawaiian punch, bro. And it's not like, there's no aftertaste to it. There's no like nothing. The green apple is crazy. The green apple is actually slept on. Actually, the crazy thing is like the pina colada is actually slept on when we do sampling. Yeah. people don't usually try that one first because I think people are like the pineapple, coconut, this, that, whatever. But like, bro, it's
no, and like you said, the juice
crazy.
Consistency is such a big deal because I think about like when I have had. Usually it's like you said, it's either, you know, dessert kind of creamy flavor, whether it's chocolate, vanilla, you know, the traditional flavors, or I remember a couple of like fruit flavored proteins, and like there's almost like a jelliness to it, like the viscosity is different, whereas like it really is just straight like drinking juice, you know, just water, but well flavored. And the other thing I actually wanted to ask about, because you were showing me when something that people should look out for with their protein, like, is what percentage of protein it was. You were going over like, hey, you can look at the back of a package, any package, and just see, hey, if you divide, there was an equation, a basic equation somebody could look at to realize like how much value are they getting, how much protein. What was that? If you could explain that.
So like how much protein is each serving actually yielding, and so you can divide like the actual protein content. So like ours would be 22, right? Divided by the grams per serve, which is 24 point something. So we yield 91%, and that's high. So you can go get any protein and look at the actual protein content, 20 grams, 25 grams, whatever it is, and then divide that by the actual grams per serve, and it will give you that number. And then you look at the grams per serve versus the actual calories, right? And so ours is a full serve with a full dose of protein, yield at 91% in only 80 calories, which is also crazy. It's very, very, very lean, you know? And so for people that like are really, really counting calories or macros, like, that's a big, big difference in terms of you can still get that much more protein in this many less calories. It's a major advantage, and it's really great for people that count macros.
I mean, because it is looking at their packaging and then just being like, hey, like there's a lot of fluff. A lot of times, so many things I'd imagine are fillers that people don't necessarily need. So it's like you buy a container and you're like, or the packages, and it's like, hey, this bag is, you know, only 70% of it or 80% of it, whatever, is the actual protein that you're buying it for, versus, I guess like you said, that's crazy. The 90-something% is, I mean, it's a big difference in this world.
It's very high. And so we also do, you'll see like people will promote it like third-party testing on like all their products. So every single product that comes through us, every ingredient that comes in all of our products is third-party tested. And so to make sure that it is what it is, there's no metals, there's no nothing. And also, like, what is the actual protein content in that? And so we measure the protein content in the protein that we get to make sure that it's yielding exactly what it is. And then we measure again once we actually mix it and we put it in the package to make sure that our 22 grams of protein is actually protein, and not something else.
And the pre-workout, what should people know about pre-workout in general? Like, and then, you know, what you guys do at Thrive that makes yours stand out.
Yeah, so with our pre-workout one, it's a little bit more mellow than like crazier pre-workouts. I didn't want something that was like gonna get you like nuts, and and that's all like on me. That was like me basing off of like how I like to work, right? And so we have 3 different types of caffeine in it. They're all organic caffeines of green tea extract, and like at 3 different levels. So it gets you up a little bit and then keeps you going. And then there's patented ingredients in it of like cognizin that's like good for your brain. There's black pepper extract in it to help you absorb. So the thing is, everybody looks for something different in a pre-workout, and I think the misconception of what pre-workouts are is just energy. And like just gets you fucking amped up, you know what I mean? Because some people just want to get amped up, and so like they're dumping there, you know what I mean, dry scooping, coughing, this and that. Is crazy, bro. Just take them to the dome. But what a pre-workout should do is optimize all of the work that you're doing, right? And so you look at a lot of brands that are on the market, there's not a lot of really good ingredients on it. There's just like a lot of stimulants in it. So it makes you feel like, you know what I mean? I'm going nuts and I'm doing this and I'm doing that. And for some people, that's what they want, you know, like everybody's a little bit different. But for us, we have everything. We have NO2 boosters, and like all of everything that we have in our products is all natural. Everything is colored with natural ingredients. All of our reds is like from organic beets. All of our blues are from, it's blue. What is it? No. It's also green too. It's not chlorophyll that I'm looking for. It's you know what I'm talking about?
I do know. I feel.
I don't
feel
know
like
why. I don't know why I'm like stumping on like on that ingredient, but it's a
natural blue.
Yeah. It's a very natural blue, but everything comes from a natural source in one way or another. And so, yeah, our pre-workout, like NO2 boosters, what you want is you want to get as much blood flow to the places that you're working while you're working out. And so the NO2 boosters help blood flow to the muscles that you're working out. That's why you feel a pump. We don't have a lot of like, I don't like a lot of beta alanine where it's like you're itching. So like our beta alanine content is a little bit lower. It's just enough. It's a full dose, but it's not overdone where you feel like crazy. Your ears are itching. You feel like your whole face is like just getting stung by bees.
I've had that. Yeah, with other stuff where your face itches or something.
Yeah, you're just like tingling. And it's overall, like as an overall product, I wanted more of a longer lasting endurance product versus like an up and down product. Yeah. And so that's how that pre-workout was, conceived essentially.
Well, I can tell you and I can tell everyone it absolutely works. I actually took it with my workout this morning. It's one of like my like staple benchmark workouts I haven't done for a while. And I actually crushed my personal best. It's like as many rounds as possible of those.
Yeah.
Genuinely, this happened this morning. I was like, I got to take the thrive. And I just was like, whoa, it is. So I am, a full verified user reviewing it as being awesome. So just I want to give you so much high praise for
PRs
Thrive.
with Thrive.
Exactly. But yeah, just all the things you've done and just the mindset. Like I said, I find myself, honored and privileged to be a friend and to get to encounter you. But just following your content, like I said, even before I got to meet you, has been something that has helped me feel motivated and inspired, both in terms of like the fitness, the mindset, and even just from a content side. Like you're just so consistent, you're so good, and I really appreciate you coming out to make this time. And so if you I just want to say thank you to that and just give you all the flowers and all the praise for all the work you do. And let the people know though, where can they find you? What should they be looking out for? This is where can the people find you?
Yeah, so Instagram, B.Motiv8ed. It's B.Motiv8ed with an 8. No T after the 8. I feel like a lot of people mess that up. So like I primarily am on Instagram. I'm like going to start ramping up the YouTube. That's why I built a studio at home. And yeah, slightly active on TikTok. It's not like the main thing, but yeah, primarily on Instagram.
Okay.
Yeah, well, and I appreciate all of the very kind words, sir.
I absolutely mean it, brother. Thank you very much. And thank you for watching. This is Connections with Kyland. Make sure you're following B.Motiv8ed. That's motivated with an 8. And we'll see you next time.